have to say that Gary has done an exceptional job this year under very challenging conditions.
Well, he plucked the racing out of the mire and saved it in effect, didn't he?
He did.
Him and his committee.
Indeed. And of course, Gary obviously is the clerk of the course, ultimately makes the decision. But there is a team that is around the whole of TT, and I think we do need to recognise that. You make these decisions, which I think he made them in a very swift fashion to ensure that we had the maximum racing that we could have, as well as the least amount of disruption.
Now, leaving your ministerial hat to one side, how successful do you think the TT was?
Well, for me, I was just thinking the TT was challenging. There's no doubt about it in terms of logistics.
Whose fault was that?
Logistics. I think it was Manannan, perhaps the weather. And that's something we live with. We always know that is there. Last year, we may forget, but it was absolute stunning. And you can remember the build up to it. The weather was fantastic, but this year it wasn't. And it's just the look of the weather at the end of the day. But we did manage to get the racing away. And congratulate Gary and the whole team around that. And the action when it did happen, I think, was very thrilling and exciting.
Just talk about the entertainment, the promenade. Going along it, there's none of the wheelies, none of the skid marks of donuts and things like that. The bikers enjoyed showing off. Is that now a thing of the past, that the promenade will no longer be the centre point of the fans' entertainment?
Well, I think, John, you need to think back that because of the entertainment that goes on around the island, and it has done for quite a number of years.
So is it leaving the promenade? Are you putting it elsewhere?
It's not where we're putting it elsewhere, but there has been entertainment around the island. You think of the likes of the Ramsey Sprint, which is now expanded, and congratulate the commissioners and people behind that to try and make it more of a festival, more of a reason to stay in Ramsey. But that's not the only place that enjoys it. Peel have their day in the south in Port Eyre, and they choose to do a family day, which if you're not into the TT and you're here on the Isle of Man, hey, you can get away from it and enjoy the beach.
So is it not desperately important that the bottleneck car park had cars on it and not a tent and entertainment?
Well, that was just...
It was a mess, wasn't it, at the beginning?
Well, I don't know whether we call it a mess. I mean, I think the Bushies Village, was great. It was enhanced, shall we say, and changed this year. And that was an enforced change for Martin. And we will be sitting down with him to see how successful it is.
He's hinting he needs support, doesn't he? He says it has to be viable, and he hinted it was brushing close to not being viable.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point that Martin made there, because people would look at that and they see how busy it is and they think, well, he must be making a fair few out of it. But there's a serious amount of infrastructure that goes into that, a significant investment that just goes into those 2 weeks. And I think we need to recognise that. And it is part of the TT entertainment, without a doubt. Martin's been around for 20 plus years doing this, and I think he does a great job.